Alright, hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Mr. Ade Ayo Bet Predict. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys the process of how you can make use of one of these particular hidden betting strategies that many people are not really aware of. Actually, in one of my past video, I explained to you guys most of these particular bets that you guys are not really aware of, which are the corner, the shot on goal, the card. We also have some which are the offsides. We have some which are shot on goals. We have some which are throw in, foul, and so many more like that. But in this particular video, we'll be looking into a particular one, which happens to be the yellow card, red card predictions. Actually, for this particular bet platform, I'm not going to recommend this particular bet platform when it comes to going for yellow card predictions, or what we call booking. So each bet platform has their own ways of attracting their own customers, and this particular platform is very good with varieties of market offering. But there's a particular market platform that I personally use when it comes to predicting yellow cards. So we are going to use that one for the predictions, for example, in this particular video. So now let us first go into the stats. So if you happen to pick the right games and applying the right method of analysis to it, surely you should be getting more winning when it comes to predicting over yellow card. Actually, when it comes to yellow card predictions, I don't like going for under yellow card, or any in any other market. I don't really like going for the under because it is not very good in restricting a certain number of goals of a particular actions in sports games when it comes to football, most especially. So right now we are going to use a particular method of checking the average points of these particular teams in their last previous games with other teams, and also against each other, and we are going to conclude on that when it comes to predicting yellow card. Actually, when it comes to yellow card also, it does not only depends on player, it also depends on the ref. Depending on how the ref happens to be a strict individual. So most times when I want to predict my yellow card prediction, I always like to go for over 2.5 goals, over 2.5 yellow card points, or over 3.5, depending on your choice. But for me, that is the most common that always occur when it comes to games, over 2.5 and over 3.5 yellow card. So now let us move on to our analysis. Alright, so first we are going to do a back testing of this particular game, because this particular game ended up in so many yellow cards in this particular game, and we are going to check the last previous games that these teams had against other teams, and also the last previous games that they've actually played against each other. So we are going to look into the average total yellow card that they've had in those particular games, and we are going to conclude on that. Actually, this is what I always do when it comes to predicting yellow card. I don't always evaluate the yellow card that teams got from other leagues apart from the leagues that they are currently about to play. Because for example, this particular game happens to be the game that was played under the Premier League, and we have some games that in the last previous games that these teams they played, which happens to be outside the league. For example, the European Conference League that Chelsea played in their last previous games. These particular games that will not be part of what you are going to evaluate when it comes to predicting over yellow card or red card. But one thing about the platform I use is that they evaluate the point of red card alongside with yellow card, and during my evaluation when it comes to yellow card red card prediction, which is also known as booking, it is always an advantage for me, because I always try to avoid evaluating red card points alongside with the yellow card evaluation. So what we just need to do is to evaluate the last 5 games that the home team had with other teams, and the last 5 games the away team had with other teams, and we are going to look into the average yellow card that they had in those games. So now after getting that, we are going to look into the last previous games that they had against each other in the same league, which happens to be the Premier League, and we are going to look into the average yellow card that they had in those games. So between the last previous games that they had against each other and the current previous games that they had with other teams, will show the difference in how uh how often they've been getting this particular yellow card, compared to that of the last previous games that they've been adding against each other. So if it's possible that the current yellow card, the current average yellow card that they are getting of current is not as the same as the average yellow card that they've been getting against each other, so it will give us an insight of, okay, which lowest point of line should we go for. So for example, let's say if we check now, okay, let us start so that you guys will be able to understand it along the way. All right, now, so let's start. So this is what we just need to do. Let's first start with the home team. So now for the home team, what you just need to do is to look into the last 5 games that they've played against other opponents. For example, this particular game happens to be the European Conference League, so we are not evaluating it alongside our game. So we are evaluating against Liverpool, evaluating against Nottingham Forest, evaluating against Brighton, and evaluating against West Ham, and also evaluating against Bournemouth. So these are the last 5 games that we are going to be evaluating our yellow card, the yellow card that the home team has had in the last previous games against other opponents in this particular same league. Now, after doing this, let us start checking the total yellow card that Chelsea had in this particular game against Liverpool. They had 1, 2, 3. Okay, they had just 3 yellow cards in this particular game. So we just have to add the 3 yellow cards to the yellow cards that they had against Nottingham Forest. So they had 3 yellow cards earlier, and they had 6 yellow cards again, making it 9. So against Brighton, they had they had 3 yellow cards again. So we already had 9 yellow cards on ground. So 9 plus 3, that is 12. So against West Ham, they had they only had 2 yellow cards here against West Ham, making it 14. All right, now, so against Bournemouth, they had, I think, okay. All right, against Bournemouth, they had 8 yellow card. So 8 yellow card in addition with the 14 yellow card that we've gotten earlier, it happens to be 20. Okay, that's 22. All right, so they had average yellow card of 22, and so now 22 is the average. It happens to be the total yellow card that they had in the last previous games against other opponents in this particular same league. Now what we just need to do is to divide this particular 22 with just the total number of the games that we evaluated, which happens to be 5, and by doing that, okay, we should be getting 4.4. Okay, actually the average yellow card that Chelsea had in the last previous games against other opponents happens to be 4.4 yellow card. Now we are going to look into the average yellow card that the away team also got in the last previous games against other opponents. Alright, so we are going to be looking into just 5 games. Alright, so last 5 games against other opponents, and let's check the yellow card for them. So for Newcastle, in the match against Brighton, they had just 2 yellow cards. And against Everton, they had just 2 yellow cards again, making it 4. And also against Manchester City, they had 4 yellow cards against Manchester City, making it 8 yellow card now. And going to check the match against Fulham, they didn't have any yellow card here. Okay, and the last game, which is Wolves, they had 3 yellow cards here, making it 11 yellow card in the last 5 previous games against other opponents in this particular same Premier League game. So now checking the alright, so let's check the average point for that of Newcastle in the last previous games, which happens to be 11 divided by 5. That is 2.2. They had the average yellow card of 2.2 in the last previous games, in addition with Chelsea's average yellow card in the last previous games, which make it up to be 6.6 yellow card in the last previous games against other opponents. So now we are going to make a comparison to their last previous games that they've had against each other. And also one thing that we need to look into is just that if you notice that a particular team in their last previous games against other teams, probably if they have improved in maybe conceding or improved in getting more yellow card, when it comes to yellow card predictions, maybe probably in their last previous games against each other, the current team we are currently talking about had low average yellow card in total, and later on in the last previous games against other teams, they were able to get more yellow card compared to that of the one they've been having in the last previous games. That shows that there is high tendency of getting more yellow cards in their current game. So currently now we are having 6.6 as the last as the average yellow card points that they've had against other teams. Now let us move on to the last previous games against each other, and that's where we are going to conclude how the reason why they were able to get so much yellow card in the current games also. So now let us look at this in the last previous games that they had in this same league, because we are going to avoid anything like maybe cup or maybe something like this, or maybe friendly games. We are going to avoid it in the evaluation right now. So now we have the match here, which happens to be the first game here. This particular game ended up as 3-2, and the total yellow card there happens to be 4. Okay, yes, 4. So we have 4 here. And looking at the next game here, that ended up Newcastle 4-1 against Chelsea. Let's check the total yellow card. Alright, so the total yellow card in this particular game happens to be 10. Alright, 10 in addition to 4, that is 14. So moving on to check the next game. Okay, this particular game happens to be a friendly game, so we are avoiding it. 14. Okay, so let's check this, that ended up as 1-1 again. So let's check the total yellow card. Alright, so the total yellow card in this particular game also. Okay. In this particular game, no yellow card in this particular game at all. No yellow card at all. And let's check the next game. Okay, this particular game ended up in 1-0. And they had just 6 yellow card in this particular game. So 6 in addition to 14 that we already have happens to be 20. And looking at it next, this particular match ended up in 0-3. And the total yellow card they had happens to be 5. So 20 in addition to 5 happens to be 25. So the total yellow card that they had against each other in the last previous games happens to be 25. But mere evaluating it, dividing it by 5, surely we are getting 5 average points of their yellow card that they've gotten. So it shows that at least they've gotten more, 1.6 more in the last previous games against other teams, and in the last previous games against each other they've gotten 5. So one thing about me is that whenever I say a games like this, having 5 average point of 5 yellow card in the last previous games, surely in that particular game you should be expecting over 2.5 yellow card or over 3.5 yellow card, judging by the last previous games against each other. So these particular steps can take your time actually, but this is one thing I'm going to do in this particular video. We are going to try this particular method that I just explained to you guys on another game, and let us try to monitor the game to see the outcome. Actually, I want you guys to note this: yellow card also, yellow card prediction too can be affected by the decision of the ref in that particular match. Because while I was checking the last previous games of these particular teams, and checking their yellow card in the last previous games against each other, I noticed something in a particular match in under the same league, which is this Premier League. In this particular match, no yellow card occurred, even over 1.5 or over 0.5 yellow card. I'm very sure if the bookmakers are providing option for the over 0.5 yellow card in this particular game, anybody that's taken over 0.5 yellow card would have lost the game. So just make sure that betting, there's nothing like 100% accuracy in it, but at least to some extent you should be having the right accuracy when it comes to using a particular strategy. But there are some situations whereby it will just be like you don't know how to do it. It is not like that. Betting can be unpredictable sometimes, most especially when it comes to sports games. So right now let us move on to the next game which they haven't played. So I only use this particular match to show you guys how it works. But in the next game that we are going to be evaluating, those games may not they might not have started the games already. So now let's look for something they haven't started. Okay, let us look into games for okay, let's go for Real Betis. I believe they are starting soon. Let's go for Real Sociedad. Alright, so I'm going to make this quick, and surely we'll be able to follow the game up and see the result of the game tonight. So now let's look at it. This particular game, we are looking for Real Sociedad, the last previous games against. This is a Europa League. We are going to we are not focusing on this game. Let's skip this. So we are going for this. So against Girona, in that particular match, the Real Sociedad had one yellow card in their game. Okay. Okay, looking at against Atletico Madrid, they didn't have any yellow card here. Okay. Okay, we are skipping this. Against Valencia, I don't think they had any yellow card here. Wow. So naturally, I think let us just avoid this particular game. They didn't have any yellow card in the last previous games. Let's check some other games. Alright, let us quickly explore the Italy Serie A and let's see what you have there. So again, match against Fiorentina and AS Roma. So surely we are excluding this particular game. So let's start with Leeds against Fiorentina, and let's see the total yellow card in the last 5 games they had. Okay, so in this particular match, the away team had, which happens to be Fiorentina, had 5 yellow card. Okay, let's check the next game. Against AC Milan. Against AC Milan, they had just 2 yellow card here, making 7. So we are skipping this. So against Empoli, they had just 1 yellow card. Okay, making it 8. So against Lazio, they had 3 yellow card, making it up at 11. And lastly, against Atlanta, and they had just 3 yellow card, making it up as 14. So the total yellow card in the last 5 games in this particular same league that Fiorentina had in the last games happens to be 14 yellow cards. So now let's check. So the average total yellow card that Fiorentina had in the last previous games against other opponents happens to be the total number of 2.8 yellow card. Okay, 2.8 yellow card. And let's quickly check for the away team, which happens to be Roma. So surely we are skipping this, and let's start with this. So in the match against Inter Milan, they had just 2 yellow card in this particular game. Okay. So against Monza, they had just 1 yellow card, which makes it up to be 3. So we are skipping this. So we go for against Venezia. They only had a total number of yellow card of 1, making it 4. So we go for Bilbao. Okay, this is Europa League. So we go for Udinese. And the total yellow card they had happens to be 2, making it up 5. Okay, sorry, 6. Okay. And lastly, against Genoa. Okay. Okay, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So okay, now so initially we have 6, and in this particular game they had 5 yellow card, which eventually lead up to red card. So now 6 plus 5, making it up as 11. So 11 is what we are going to be dividing by 5. So 11 divided by 5, making it up as 2.2 average for the away team, plus the average yellow card that the home team has been getting in the last previous games, which happens to be 2.8. So this shows that in the last 5 games against other opponents for both teams, the average yellow card that they had against other opponents in combining for the home team and the away team happens to be 5 yellow card. Okay, right now we are going to look into the last previous games against each other. At least the last previous game, 5 previous games that they've had against each other. So just have to look at the last 5 games So in this game, they had a total yellow card of 7. Okay, so checking the next one, they had a total yellow card of 8. Now 8 plus 7, that is 15. So in another one here, okay, I hope I didn't make a mistake. These people used to have yellow card. So the third game here under the same league, they had another yellow card, a total yellow card of 8, which makes it 23. So in this particular game here also they played 7 yellow card, which makes it 30. And in the last game that we'll be looking into here, they had a total number of 4 yellow card, which makes it 34. So in the last 5 games against each other that they played, they were able to have a total number of yellow card of 34 yellow card. So let us quickly do the evaluation. 34 divided by 5. So in the last previous games against each other, they were able to record 6.8 yellow card, average yellow card, 6.8 in each game. And in the last previous games against other teams, they were able to get at least 5 average point of 5 yellow cards. So in these games, in games like this, I always like to go for over 2.5. So in case you're now looking for bet platform to play your games as a yellow card over 2.5 or over 3.5, and you want a very good odd, actually you can easily get it when in this particular platform. All right, so looking at this particular platform, this is the booking market, so we call it booking market here. So now going for either over 2.5 or over 3.5 is the best for this particular game because of the high yellow card that they usually get in their game. And one advantage about this particular booking market is that if a team gets red card, that red card will count like a 2, like you know, it will count like you getting 2 yellow card already in that particular game. That is the advantage of booking. So when you play the game and you predicted it as over 3.5 and they add 2 yellow card and just a red card and the game ended, the red card is equivalent to getting 2 yellow card, which makes it total number of 4 yellow card in the game. So this is how this particular betting strategy works. So in the next video we'll be looking into how you can make use of the save markets. This particular market is not provided in all bet platform, but in some in the particular bet platform that some of you may know. And one thing that I would like to address in this particular video is about people requesting about which uh, AI tools do I use for predicting games, and when it comes to making predictions on games on maybe correct score or double chance, that which AI tools do I use. Okay, I'm going to make an explanation on that particular tools that I use, and it is a very common tool that people are really aware of. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain to you guys in the next video. So make sure that you subscribe to this particular channel, like a video, so that in the next video you'll be able to get so many tips like this. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.